Hi, beautiful people. The Miss. Oh, hey, beautiful. What about the notification? Yeah. So we are so close to this election, November 5th. I do feel that voting is important, but an informed vote. I did want to talk about some of the stereotypes of a Black Republican, and anyone can join this conversation. Now, most people that know me know that I am a Republican. I am well aware that the party is not the same as the when the party was associated with Lincoln, and there has been a shift within Donald Trump. Okay, I'm very much aware of that, but the stereotypes that I get just for my beliefs is what I want to talk about, and then I'll tell you guys why I vote for the Republican Party. I feel that a Black Republican can be very lonely because a lot of times we're out here swinging for ideas by ourselves. But we are close to this election. I know that people say your vote doesn't matter, don't vote. If your vote didn't matter, they wouldn't fight so hard for your vote. But what's good, Daniel? Before I get into all that, let me tell you something. I am going to talk about politics a little as we get closer to this live stream. But before I say that, I am grateful for another day sober. I am grateful for another chance to live and to make very sober-minded decisions. Okay, some of the stereotypes of a Republican are this, and it matters to me because a lot of times when somebody is mad at me, they try to throw in the fact that I'm Republican. The stereotypes is that we're Oreo, we don't like the Black race, we are racist, but I thought that Blacks couldn't be racist. So it's like you get both sides of the argument there. No, it's important for Blacks to represent both sides. And I find it interesting that the party that didn't look like me in the beginning, right, when we became Republican, fought for Black rights. And a lot of the, what's good? Let me greet y'all before I get into let me get comfortable. Let me get comfortable. What's good, folklore? Hey, Risa member. I'm doing fine. I have a toothache though. Hold on, y'all. Let me get comfortable. Stretch out these long legs. Oh my. There we go. Hey, lucky girl. Good to see you. Hey, Vino. Salute. I like coming on here early because I can catch y'all. And then I sneak in my late night live streams. Okay, let's talk about the party. So I'll enter a stream. Somebody bring up the fact that I'm Republican and it goes left and they don't even want to hear the ideas. But the Republican Party, right, is for traditional values, the least amount of government involvement in our lives. I do not believe that a system that once oppressed you can lift you up. We're for personal responsibility and accountability. I do believe that it's up to us to have a good life. I'm not saying that. Hey, James. Shout out to you too, my friend. Tuned in like an elephant. So I'm not saying that there's not problems, but when you think of a Republican, it's not synonymous to racism, because the Republicans are the ones that fought for civil rights and fought for the rights of Black people, fought for the rights of Black men to be in office. And we thrived. We were majority in office until 1877 with the Kansas-Nebraska Act and all of that. There were some things that turned Blacks from the Republican Party. But I feel that the Democratic Party has failed to deliver on their promises to Black people, and introducing all of these government programs, all of these handouts and things like that is designed to keep us in a system. It's designed to keep us poor. I have not seen anybody prosper. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I have not seen people prosper under the Democratic Party. And what I just see is election after election, Black people being let down. But when we were Republican, we were independent. We were a part of the political process, and somehow there has been a shift. You have Blacks saying, "Okay, well, I don't want to vote. It's not going to matter because it goes for the electoral vote," which is absolutely insane. We wouldn't have people fighting in the battle states and the swing states if our vote didn't matter. Our vote absolutely matters, but I don't think that we value our votes. I don't feel that we value our vote the way America values the Black vote. Let me tell you something. One of the biggest problems I have with the Democratic Party is this anyone can vote kind of thing they're trying to pass, because that is an American right. That's the right of an American citizen. And you don't go to another country and participate in their political campaigns. They're not allowing you in. But why, when it comes to the United States, we want a strong stance on border control? That's what we want. Why? Because the rights of the American people, we need to know who's in this country. We need to make sure that X trafficking, y'all know what I'm saying, doesn't take place here as much as we can limit it. Because open borders allow kids to be trafficked in undocumented under the guise of being the child of, they're coming in with the parent. And a lot of these are not the cases. Over 300,000, I know it's a lot more than that, children have become missing. And you cannot have a policy with just open borders that anybody can come in and out. We just can't have it. So we do want stronger borders, and we want protected elections. We want to know who's voting in our democratic process. Okay. Also, what's good, King? With protected borders, I mean, you have to look at inflation, and you have to look at the rights of American people. A lot of people like to say that Trump is not for healthcare. Trump is for healthcare. He has a policy. It's still, there's a lot of things that need to be worked out. I don't care if you go for Kamala. I don't care if you go for Trump. Medicare and Medicaid needs to provide for our healthcare. I don't believe that Obamacare is the answer. I think that is flawed, especially when you look, I know that it's flawed. When you look at the cost of healthcare and things like that, it's extremely high. And though the benefits, so Republicans do believe that the workforce should, that's your way of getting, that's where your health benefits come from. Okay. And I do know that by taking care of yourself, and you be the one to determine what's good for your household and things like that. Because the more you trust the government to do it, the more you're waiting for a handout, and it just does not increase personal responsibility. Okay. Now, let me see what y'all saying. The girls sitting. Obama has ruined our healthcare system. It has. I work in the healthcare system now, and I see what this insurance has done. I also hang around a lot of physicians that speak in depth about healthcare. And what people don't realize is with Obamacare and other government type programs, they want the government to come in and decide. And everything that the Democratic Party is trying to blame on the Republican Party is what they're already doing. So this scare tactic that they're throwing on the Republican Party is trash. I'm going to say it right now. There's a reason why Republicans are censored. And as soon as we speak, we are demonized for our thoughts. But I can go and speak about democratic values. I'm not censored anywhere. People like me, they'll accept me. But the moment I say, you know what, I'm not going for the Democratic Party, I cannot tell you how many times I'm walking somewhere and somebody comes up to me and congratulates me on Kamala's nomination. Are you kidding me? Why do people think that just because you are Black, you should get the Democratic vote? That's what's wrong with the Democratic Party. That's one of the things that's wrong, is they just assume that because they're Democrat, we're supposed to vote for them. And it's very, very problematic to say that as a Black person, I need to vote for a woman because she's Black, so they say. And I'm not going to argue that. That's another story for another day. But I'm not going to vote for somebody just because they're white. I'm not going to vote for somebody just because they're Black. I'm going to vote what's best for the American people, where my family, we can take care of ourselves. We can take care of ourselves financially. And there's not a system that's going to oppress us. The Democratic Party, time after time again, while people like to skip over it, has made laws to keep Blacks down, to prevent us from voting. Right? Let's not talk about Black Wall Street and who tore that down when we did build ourselves up. It wasn't the Republican Party. All right. And at any time when the Democrats could have repaid some of the debt when they were majority in office, and you don't see that, but you do see white people that don't look like me and civil rights leaders and things like that passing laws to help Blacks progress. Okay. Civil rights. Who started that? Did they not form the Republican Party to, wasn't slavery starting to affect the country even more so in the North? And all these people are starting to say, no, we don't want it to progress. And then we get the Republican Party to fight the Democratic Party that fought for the rights of Black people. The Republican Party has continuously, throughout history, fought for the rights of Black people. Did we come up with Jim Crow laws, or the Democratic Party? They were not ready for Blacks to govern themselves, to become wealthy without government assistance. Because think about it, if the government is constantly handing you a check, they're telling you how much you can make. There's a cap on it, as they make majority. They still think it's all about racism. I forgot to turn on my air conditioner. I am so hot, y'all. There's a different, oh, let me get back to these laws. Mandatory minimums. Thank you, Democrats. Who did it affect? And they like to polish these things as being tough on crime instead of saying it's tough on Blacks. Okay, 3 strikes minimum. Wasn't from the Republican Party. But they like to talk about Trump and demonize Trump and say, oh, he said this and he said that. And all of these, how do I hide that comment? And all of these things, when people start talking about Trump, I say 2 things. Wasn't Biden the one that talked about his kids being schooled with Blacks, or his kids being on the same bus as Blacks? All I'm saying, if we're going to talk about racist statements, then we should talk about it all the way around, including the laws that were put in place to keep Blacks needy towards the government and to keep us from fully thriving with all of the voter laws and all of these things. And that was put into place. And I'm just saying, why can't we have a conversation about it without the ad hominem attacks? Because whenever I go to debate, which I won the last debate, thank you very much that I did in a professional way, because my values are solid and I know what I'm speaking of. And the Republican Party, I'm going to vote for the party. I'm going to go for the party that has fought for people that does not even look like them. Okay. They fought against racism. And there is no way that you could tell me that that was the Democratic Party who wanted. Where did the Klan and all these things come from? I know this video isn't going to get monetized, because when I talk about stuff like this, they don't get monetized. They get flagged and all of those kind of things. And that has to do with the censorship, because people don't want to know the truth. And the truth is, Blacks have not thrived under the Democratic Party. And that is why I fight against the stereotypes of the Black Republican. And I remind people that our people, our ancestors were Republican, and they believed the lies. When the troops left the South, it created and the South, and when the troops left the South, and then we had, a lot of racial tension, Blacks turned. I can understand people feeling a certain kind of way, but I can't understand people making the same decision election after election to have the same results and then wait. Let me tell you something. No one's going to come and save us. We have to think for ourselves, and we have to look at things and stop waiting for these promises. I am not a dangerous person as people say that I am. I'm not. I'm just a part of the second largest political party, because we need more people that look like us in that party. If you have a party that fought for a reparation bill to be passed, to be shot down by the Democratic Party, that's telling me, number one, the Republican Party is for the progression of Blacks. A wealthier economy makes everyone wealthier, the 1% and the 3%. All right. So I'm going to go that route. I do not believe a government is going to come and save me. I believe that I have to be able to navigate within the system that we were given to save myself and my family. You have to have border control. Open borders have not been proven to work. It does not work. And that's just what it is. Hey, Bird Dog. There is a difference in keeping me down and wanting me. Who wants you unalive, though? Who wants you unalive? Exactly, Rico. Welfare is not a bad thing, a welfare trap. So when you say welfare is not a bad thing, do you feel that everyone should be put on welfare, or do you think that would be a strain on our economy? So When you're saying it's not a bad thing, can you elaborate? I'll be happy to debate you on welfare. No problem. Show my comment agreeing, child. Leave it so. Where is it? Oh, is that the comment you're talking about? Did I miss one? Oh, here we go. Oh, thank you. Now I agree. Obamacare was trash and poor execution, except for getting rid of pre-existing condition rules. So in Trump's policy, he does, and in Trump's, if you listen to Trump's campaigns at his speeches, he does talk about not discriminating and not penalizing people for having pre-existing conditions, but those aren't the things I like to talk about. He speaks in detail about that. But healthcare, Obamacare is not it. And we need to talk about the problems with the economy now. It's not because of President Trump. Okay. He does promise to end the wars. Why are our troops all over the place? Well, we need to work on what's happening in the United States, American affairs. Hey, Gemini love, how you doing? Ronnie Q, I'm so glad you're here because I have something to say to you. Okay, I'm gonna put you on the spot. But I feel that, number one, I love your political, and I spoke about you the other day. I love your talks and your debates, or you don't have a debate, your conversations, but I am going to say that I feel that Republicans are not able to really speak. And over here, you guys are allowed to speak, whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, a liberal. I want to hear y'all points of views because, Ronnie Q, what I'm saying is we are on the same team. We just go for different parties, and we all want to see the progression of Black people. But, you know, that's what I'm going to say about that. But thank you for having me in your conversation. I really appreciated that. But I don't agree with everything, sis. Israel's not innocent. Hey, Kenna, I wanted you to come back up. I didn't see that until later because I felt flushed. I felt like Ronnie Q flushed me because I was the only one. I was the only one that would speak passionately that kept getting put in the back. And that's what I'm talking about. I know that if you're going to have these kind of conversations, what is the point of just having people that think like you? My family was brought up. People just sound like the most ignorant things. And I would have came. Now, thank you for letting me know that I'm welcome. I would have come back, but I thought it was flushed. And I didn't see anybody else put backstage for speaking over people. That's all I have to say. Republicans are stereotyped in a horrible way. And the biggest stereotype, what's good, Tisa? Let me say this first. The biggest stereotype is that we are not for Black people. We want to be white. I'm talking about the Black folk. We want to be white. We're ignorant. We're dumb. And a lot of people attack me as a person or attack Republicans as a person instead of attacking the idea. Let me tell you one of the biggest fallacies in debate. The biggest fallacy is instead of attacking an idea, they want to go to use that person to prove their point. For example, I'm speaking and then somebody asked me, which happened on this other panel, Ronnie Q, someone asked me in the chat if I worked, if I was married. Those things don't have anything to do with the policies that I'm talking about, the national policies. My life does not, you can't use the person that's speaking to prove your point. That's a fallacy in debate. What's wrong with you guys? Now, Tisa made a great point, and I'm working on this, and she said it. You know what? And I thank you for this, sis. I do, because I'm learning like the rest of you. Show your points. Don't just say them. And I'm working on that, you guys. Let me get a little bit more technical, and I will put up why I say what I say about the Republican Party. Why? Okay, I see Project 25 being thrown in the chat. A lot of people like to throw Project 2025 with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is for Agenda 47, and he makes excellent points there. He does. I did a YouTube short on Agenda 47 that got demonetized, but it spells out what that is for, and that's what Donald Trump endorses. And the people that came up with Project 2025, I understand that they use Donald Trump's name, but Donald Trump has distanced himself and said that there were so many problems with it that he could not support it. But he does claim Agenda 47, and the if you look at the policies and the things in Agenda 47, those are things that are to benefit American people. Yes, it's for a conservative presidency. You know, the GOP is for traditional values, and it's for, now people like to bring up the abortion laws, but Donald Trump left it up to the state. Now, whether you're a Christian or not is going to say whether you believe pro-life or pro-choice. Not every Republican is pro-life. That kind of goes on their religious beliefs. I'm pro-life because I feel that somebody has to protect the right of the child. And a lot of people like to say, oh, but what about the child? What about the 13-year-olds that was, you know, harmed or blah, blah. We're not talking about that. And those are not the majority of abortion cases. They're just not. No one's talking about ectopic pregnancies. If a woman is in a medical emergency, there is no law in any state preventing her from getting help. And those are things that they use to scare people. That's why they say stuff like that. It's not because the people getting abortions are ones that are desperate. No, some of them just made bad decisions. And somebody has to protect the right of the unborn child. Because if you unalive something that has once been alive, there's one word for it. But Donald Trump does talk about late-term abortions. Let me go into my chat real quick. I'm going to turn on my air. Okay, I'm doing pretty good on time. Let me see what you guys are saying. And I am going to work on, thank you, King. I'm going to work on actually showing y'all this stuff, and y'all probably hear a lot about this as we get closer to the election. I do believe, now some people are like, they're not going to vote. I cannot stress to you how important your vote is. Even if, when I do not agree, if I did not agree on any party for, if I wasn't going to vote for Kamala or Donald Trump, I would put neither is qualified on the ballot, and I'll look at the statutes and the bills. Okay, because that goes by the popular vote, not the electoral vote. So I just encourage you not to listen to the people that say your vote doesn't matter, because if you feel that your vote doesn't matter, then I would call somebody out in my tower. Now I don't think they're still there. Just talk, well, I won't really call out, but you know what I'm saying. If you feel that your vote really doesn't matter, then what is the point? You're just speaking nonsense. No one really cares about your opinion, because if you don't have the sense enough to get down there and make your voice count, what do you have to complain about? You're just somebody that does nothing but speak, and your words are empty. Our vote absolutely matters. It's important for us to, let me look at your comment. It's important for us to participate, and we're responsible for improving our lives. We're responsible for that. We're responsible for being informed. And you cannot do that by just waiting for somebody else to fix a problem without even taking the time out, even if it's nothing more than to read about what these people are talking about. Okay? Let me look at your comments this way. Kenna says, we agree on that, and you voting is necessary. Okay. Thank you, Kenna. Hold on, let me scroll up. Ronnie Q says, I just wanted you to be specific. Ronnie Q, I was specific. I felt like I was specific, but maybe I could have went into more detail. I just felt like I was fighting a lot of people. I'm not saying I need protection from anybody from anybody's panel, things like that. Please don't think that. You don't got to censor anybody for me. And I do appreciate, Ronnie Q, that you did let me respond to the people that was coming at me. I appreciate that. So, I mean, I will always come and have hey, what's good, ODS? I didn't see you come in. So I will always, you know, I appreciate that. You know, I'm not somebody that can't handle words. Hey, Lattimore. Okay, I'm looking at your comments. Rico said, only we can save ourselves. No man or anything's going to do it. That's right. Hey, MU, what if that system is unfair? How would that system be unfair? Can you say in what way? I pinned the wrong comment. I was trying to pin the link, not the cash app. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Okay, when you're talking about an unfair system, that's broad. Right now, they're trying to make it the Democratic Party so people can vote without an ID. That is absolutely insane. And what they're wanting is for undocumented workers illegal immigrants to participate. They're depending on them to vote for the Democratic Party. What's with all the tactics? Okay, we want a fair campaign, and there has been proven instances of things that have been unfair. And I have to look at people's side eye. Like, why are Republicans and right wingers censored? Even when you watch the debate, who did they want to fact check? Did they want to fact check the Democratic Party, or even the vice presidential debate and a presidential debate? It was the Republican Party that they wanted to fact check. And then they wanted to bring up non-important points. And in the vice presidential debate, even when Waltz was caught in a lie, when they were asking him about where he was at a certain time, and he lied, only to say that he misspoke, okay, they just moved right past it. No, what's with all the lies? Because the way they wanted to fact check Vance, that was it. They know that man lied. He didn't misspeak. And there were so many inconsistencies. I think that J.D. Vance did an amazing job during a vice presidential debate, and he's going to be an amazing support system for Donald Trump. America is not ready for a liberal. Waltz is very liberal. It's as liberal left as you can get. We're not ready for that. We're not ready for. We want a strong economy. We want a strong border. And what happened to that sense of pride for being an American and our citizenship and all that? That's what we want back. And our traditional values. Ronnie Q said, source, cite your source about the no ID for voting thingy. I will, Ronnie Q. I will have no problem with that. It is broad, Kenna. Kenna's, okay, wait. Vibrant, hey, Vibrant. Protecting an unborn child is honorable, but where's the protection? I can't find them. Down the line, people who want to choose to abort not always haven't the means or desire to care for that child. But Vibrant, doesn't that child have the right to live? And I do agree with you, but think about the ones that wouldn't be here. There has to be something in place to protect a child that cannot protect themselves. Isn't that what the laws are for? If we have abortions, there's plenty of qualified people that want, adoption, sorry, y'all. We have adoptions. There's plenty of people that want to adopt a child. I don't feel that a person's right negates another person's right. So if you have the right to live, so does a child. That child is living and breathing. That child is a child. I can understand if there's health defects. I can understand if, there are extreme circumstances, but I believe it needs to be laid out. Okay. I think that I know that it's problematic to say that, you know what, and people love to scream about the R word of a child and stuff like that. But those are not the majority of abortion cases. I think that there has to be a fine line. And it shouldn't be because the parent made a bad choice. If the mom cannot afford the child, there's plenty of people that can afford the child. But I think it first starts with birth control and planning and informing people of the dangers of bringing a child into the world. But you don't know what that child can become. And who are the majority of people that's getting these abortions? Why are we destroying ourselves in our generations? You don't know what that child can become. But Ronnie Q, I will get back when I talk about. I will talk about voting. If you talk about it in your live, I will source up, and if I come back later, I'll source up. I don't mind that. Ronnie Q said, I gave you your props for telling the truth about that 750 from FEMA lie that somebody wrote in the chat. You fleshed that out correctly, well, I had never heard it. Ronnie Q, I appreciate that. And here's the thing, Ronnie Q. Regardless, I'm not going for anyone. I'm not going for anyone and just say, you know what, I agree with everything on both sides. I'm looking at the whole picture. So when that person was talking about FEMA, I knew exactly what they were talking about. And one of the problems that I have with people, nothing against that person, I'm glad that she brought it up, but you have to read the whole article and then you have to fact check that article. So yes, they were given a certain amount for the emergency fund, right? And Helene, oh my goodness, we have natural disasters coming up. We got what, Milton, Hurricane Milton coming or something like that. But yes, I am happy that people can get immediate relief for the hurricane and stuff like that. So yeah, I did want to correct that. Cutting Edge said, hey, Cutting Edge. Oh, thank you. I just can't imagine forcing a woman to carry a pregnancy that she doesn't want to term. But Kenna, people make bad decisions sometimes. But is that the child's fault? Especially if we call ourselves Christians, how can we just take the life of a child because a mom made a mistake when that mom has other options like to give the child up? And I'm not talking about moms that were forced to get pregnant. I'm not speaking about those moms, but again, those are not the majority of cases. So per se, so are in place. Why would that be an issue? Why wouldn't Trump have a plan for that, not a concept? He does have a plan for that, King. Can you show that he doesn't? He does. And he speaks about that, but we're not talking about that. He left that up to the state, King Me. The state, you have to remember, so we have our federal laws, but the state enforces the law, okay? So that's why it's important to vote for your local representatives. That goes by the popular vote because the state enforces the law. So your local representatives, and those are the ones that you can write to, you can communicate with, and you can vote for. So he left it up to the state, and Trump does speak about long-term, if you're late in pregnancy, protecting that child. But as far as the abortion laws, he left it up to the state. Nikki Pope, hey Nikki, every Republican voted against funding before the storm hit. Can you say that? Every means 100%. I don't think that's factual, Nikki. And I completely disagree. No, Republicans are not against funding. There's a lot more to that. Hey, Street in Scotland. Street in Scotland, I disagree. Are you in Scotland by any chance? I disagree. A woman's right to choose, where does it stop? Our rights to do something can't step over somebody else's constitutional rights. A child also has constitutional rights, but we like to say that it's not a child. So the question is, when you consider a child? At the point of conception? When the child comes out, then why does it have a heartbeat? So who protects the right of somebody that can't protect themselves? Didn't we need laws as Black people to protect us because we had other people that remember, slavery was legal. Segregation and Jim Crow was legal. Those were laws, but we needed somebody to fight for us and make laws to protect us because we had constitutional rights that were being violated. So I cannot, as a person, say that somebody else's constitutional right to live, my right can't triumph that right. And I think that's problematic. Rico, you throwing conspiracies in there? Everybody is not Christians. Was that not why America's created? Everybody is not Christians, Ronnie Q. I'm not sure the point that I missed one of your points, because when I was speaking about Christians, I spoke about whether a Republican is Christian or not is going to affect whether they're pro-choice or pro-life. What's good for? Tisa, these red states are always begging for government money all the time. For Project 25, they want federal government to be responsible for 25% of disaster funding, leaving us, which would bankrupt the state. But Trump doesn't endorse Project 2025. He does endorse Agenda 47. Jim Crow was states' right law, so you are for against states' rights. I'm not against state rights. I'm against anything that's going to oppress people and that's going to segregate people. And no, I am not for that. They voted against the funding, then blamed Biden for the $750 check. They're playing games to score political points. I think the only one playing games is the Democratic Party and how they like to blame Republicans for everything, even when Donald Trump is not in office. No, I completely disagree. The red states don't get more, and they're pushing against government funding. So I'm not sure how you could say that. I know, and you have lived in many red states to see how that works versus California is different. Okay. Absolutely. Oh my goodness, absolutely. I love Candace Owens. I think that not only is she very well spoken and intelligent, the things that she has done and the way that she has brought awareness to the Republican Party, to different, not just Black people, but the way she speaks about the Republican Party. I would love to meet Candace Owens. I would love to meet Donald Trump. A lot of people call me a Trump. That is, I mean, that's a lie. Go fact check me on that. Okay, I will. I don't have my notepad, but I have to look at what Ronnie Q said. I'll look at what you said, Tisa. I will. I know that when you think about the differences between the Republican Party, are y'all sending me sources to my Instagram? The Republican Party and the Democratic Party, government funding is big. And the Republican Party is for personal responsibility and accountability and not for the government. We're not for the social programming. I'm saying use it within reason. I'm not saying that people don't need help, but the systems that we have in place don't work, and it just hinders us. So I'm not saying absolutely no social programming and things like that, but what we have right now, no. Let me see what y'all sending me. Okay, that's a lot what you sent me, so I'll look at it. I will look at it. We both live in California. You should know that. I will look at the funding, but are you guys okay? Tisa, you're in California. Would you agree or not agree that inflation is out of control and the cost of gas is extremely high, and we need to get those things down? We should be able to feed our kids organic, healthy foods, okay, without it breaking the bank. Everything is so high right now. And it wasn't that way with Trump in office. And people are forgetting about the stimulus checks that was promoted by him, and forgetting about the good things that Donald Trump has done. But I want you guys to remember that I was a Republican before. I don't like to be lined up with just, oh, she's Republican and she's supporting Donald Trump. No. I was a Republican before Donald Trump came into office, okay? I'm looking at what's best for the American people and our families. And I do think that, well, I'll leave my views about Donald Trump out for a second. What's good, Caribbean Freddie? The stimulus check was taxpayers' money, Trump. But he did pass it. Let me tell you something. Everybody was happy when those checks came in, Trinidad. So we want to talk about the $750 from FEMA and all of that. And all. Well, Trump also gave money out, but the cost of things were lower. We had a stronger economy, and we had stronger borders for Trump in office. We just did. He was very active. He was stopped from doing a lot of the things that he proposed to do, like the wall and all of that. But he did have the border under more control than what Kamala has it as. Or I say Kamala because she's a border czar, even though she's trying to separate herself from that title. What you see now happening at the border is insane. It's not right. It's not okay. And crimes and all of that is being committed by people. Oh, we need better control over our borders. 504 girl, we're not going to act as if Donald Trump didn't have anything to do with it and that he did not sign that. And I'm not sure. There's so many people that don't like Donald Trump, but Donald Trump has done a lot for Black people. And even though he may say things that's problematic for shock value or for whatever reason, he's a businessman, and he talks about everybody having jobs, not just Black jobs. They took that out of context. Everybody having jobs, being able to work and support our own families. That's what he talks about. We need jobs. He wants to pay auto workers more. Why? They carry a lot of the jobs. And he wants us to have a livable wage and to be able to take care of our families, protect the right to bear arms, our constitutional rights. We're talking about our constitutional rights here, and he wants to strengthen us as a nation. And I think that it's about time that somebody wants to put America first. We didn't really understand what was happening with C-19 in the beginning. So to stop the spread of disease, yes, we locked things down because we wanted to be healthy. Would you suggest we just go out and spread it? He did the best he could with the knowledge that he had. But he also speaks heavily about where it came from and how to prevent things from that happening again. Here we go. Trying to go. Don't blame immigrants for the crime that's happening in this country. I'm not blaming them for 100% of the crimes that happen in the country, but I could definitely say that they're responsible for some. Just like I would say Americans are responsible for some. I'm not going to exclude somebody just because they come from somewhere else. I would say people that come from other places and Americans are responsible. But when they commit crimes in this country, there has to be something to protect Americans. Okay. And that's why you have to know who's coming in the country. You can't just let everybody in. And I'm sorry if that sounds harsh, but we can't deny when people come in, and if let's say they can't get jobs and stuff like that because they're undocumented, whatever, when people are desperate, they do desperate things. So there has to be a better system. I'm not talking about refugees. I'm not talking about people that come here for protection and things like that. All right. I'm talking about that's not 100% of the case because there's a process to get into this country. There's a process to get into any country. They blame immigrants for everything. Okay, Max Boogie, but no one, listen. I don't see anyone getting upset that I talk about crimes and Americans because I did speak about crimes against America. And I didn't say that had anything to do with foreigners. So I'm not blaming immigrants for anything, but I am saying that there's a way to come into the country. We were fully aware. We watched it spread from country to country. He refused to shut the airports down, saying it was a Democratic hoax. You can't be serious. What I want to understand is why are people fighting so hard for the Democratic Party, but I don't hear you guys saying any problems with the Democratic Party at all. So it seems to me as if you're looking for someone to save you guys instead of us taking control and saving ourselves. DeSantis, okay, now I don't agree with every Republican. I don't like DeSantis. I can't have a blessed day. Tisa, okay. I don't like DeSantis because of what he said about racism and the way that he's trying to teach it in the public schools over there. And where is he, Florida? So DeSantis is not somebody I would ever support because you have to know your history. And saying that Black people benefited from slavery because we learned tools and stuff, I would never support a person like DeSantis. So vote for girl, I am keeping it real, but I feel like you're trolling me right now. Black jobs was his word. Who took it out of context? Okay, so when he was talking about black jobs, he was talking about Blacks working. And I feel like he used that term to get people's attention because he was asked about what he meant by saying Black jobs. And he said that any job that a Black person has. So how's that racist? Who tried to assassinate Trump? Was it immigrant or was he Republican? He was a rhino, Trinagol, a person that claimed to be Republican only so that the Republican Party can be blamed, but he had very anti-Republican rhetoric. Nikki says, I have a lot of problems with the Democratic Party, but you're not speaking about that. Now I'm addressing what you are saying. Okay, so some of the problems with the Democratic Party are what? I have to say that all the Democrats have to do is promise better conditions for Blacks. Remember, they're the ones that shot down the reparation bill saying that Blacks have already been given it. No, Blacks were not given it because reparations was given to the slave owners, the former slave owners when they lost the war. Reparations were given to the banks and not to Black people, because that has to be something separate. We're never given, you have to make something right, and our public image was destroyed. The Black man's image was destroyed and was never restored, so reparations was not given, but reparations was shut down by the Black Democratic Party. Even the reparation bill that was proposed in California as of recent was shut down by the Black Democrats and the Black Caucus. So let's start there. Blacks are owed a debt, and it's not paid out because a lot of people feel it's a handout, and it's not something it's not a handout. It's a debt that hasn't been paid and it's owed. But are we going to get it under the Democratic Party? No, we could just look back into history and say it's not going to be paid out. There has been a reparations bill, Nikki Pope. That sounds like Donald Trump. Okay, Aaron. Rhetoric Q said it's racist because if he was talking any job, then there would be white jobs too. But Blacks have been discriminated against in the country, Rhetoric Q. So sometimes we do have to separate the race, because we cannot say that Blacks were treated the same as whites. So I find it, when we're separating the needs of Black people, we can't just say Blacks and whites have the same needs, when Blacks have been through a lot in the country when it comes to the police, when it comes to how we're treated through the court system. So you do have to separate it sometimes. I can't wait for the day where we just call ourselves Americans like other countries, go identify by the country, because we know what race was designed to do, creating race, the white and Black system, right? But that's not it for today. So I don't believe it's racist to say that Blacks need jobs, Mexicans need jobs, everybody needs jobs, white people need jobs. I just feel that he could have worded it better, maybe, knowing the scrutiny that he gets. It was fake. It was fake that Trump was fake news. Stacey, what you talking about? What was fake? I'm looking at the chat. I'm wondering if anybody agrees with me at all. Y'all don't have to. Hey, sweet one. You guys don't have to. But I know how social media works or propaganda works, because more Blacks are turning to the Republican Party. Okay, the male Blacks in Wisconsin, Donald Trump is winning them over in these battle states. And you cannot believe everything that you see. They want to paint it as Donald Trump is losing. Donald Trump is not losing. His people are tired, and they're tired of everybody being put first besides Americans. And in this country, Americans, we have to have a country that's for us. I'm not saying to discriminate other people. Other people come here and are able to pull themselves up, but it can't just be off the backs of us. We have to be able to live and maintain our lifestyles as well. A lot of people like to say, oh, Republicans are just for rich people. We should. No, that's not true. None of that is true. It's just that somehow the Republican Party got this bad name as if they're this racist party. And the Republican Party is not racist. And if you want to talk about racism, there's no way for me to really take anyone serious unless they talk about the obvious racism that has taken place in the Democratic Party. And until people present both sides of the argument, I'm going to continue to have conversations like this, because I feel that I'm one of the only ones in these spaces that talk about the problems in the Republican Party and the problems in the Democratic Party. But I'm still going to go for the one that helps Blacks become more independent, protected our rights within the voting system. Because again, when it came to the grandfather clause that prevented Blacks from voting, once we did get the right to vote, then we still couldn't vote because of literacy tests and the poll taxes and all of these things that was put in place by the Democratic Party. So people want to talk about racism. Oh, Trump said Black jobs. Can we talk about the poll taxes and why they fought so hard to take our vote away, only to pretend to fight? Well, they're not pretending. They are fighting for our votes, but they never deliver on the promises. And then in 4 years, we're going to be talking about the same things: inflation, cost of living, healthcare, things like that, because nothing changes. So aren't people ready for a change? Why are people so close-minded when it comes to politics? I feel that most people vote Democrat because their parents did. That's it. And they're believing the same lie election after election. That's what I think. So now, when I come into your spaces, I don't really have problems in the political spaces I go into, because thank you for the cash app. Appreciate you. I don't have problem. Leave it so really. Okay. Oh, it's okay. Y'all disagree with me. I got excited, but that was funny. I don't have problems over there, but I feel that if you want to have a good, well-rounded conversation, you go to where people think differently, because I'm always trying to learn stuff. But I find people extremely close-minded with the Republican Party, because I can make the salary points. I go through the timeline of civil rights, the white supremacists, throwing the black Republicans out of office. I go through all of that stuff, the voting rights. I go through history with dates, only for people to say, oh, like to bring up the most trivial points when it comes to Donald Trump. And I'm not talking about the Republican Party with Donald Trump. I'm talking about the Republican Party as a whole, when it was the party of Lincoln and the change, in 2016 and all those things. I talk about it all. And I feel that people that don't really understand the policies or the history that they want to ignore, those are the ones. And I'm arguing with people that don't even vote anyway. I want to see change. Now they're saying, okay, see, here's some of the problems. Why must MU be trolling? You guys, the link is pinned if you guys disagree. But here's another thing. People like to attack my intelligence, my ability to think, and say that I'm trolling. And they can bring up the smallest point, and because they're Democrat, people just devalue what I'm saying, don't see any credibility with it. So I'm not talking to people like that. I'm talking to people that want to challenge ideas and not people. Okay. I go to other spaces because I'm in spaces that are primarily Democrat, and I just want to have a conversation. But when I have those conversations, my family's attacked. I'm called a slur. I'm called all kinds of things. And that just lets me know I'm on the right track, because I don't have to do ad hominem attacks. Let me use my banner. I'm going to bring you right up. But I'm going to say this. I don't feel like a victim in that case, so I don't want you guys to think that. I just think that people are tired and scared, and they just attack what they don't know. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Emia?
How are you? It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. I'm glad that you're having this conversation. I like to hear different political views and things of that nature. And I think a lot of people have different views, and I don't think all of us are listening to each other. And there's a lot of preconceived notions. And I think a lot of times, some of the tension you maybe feel, maybe you don't understand that sometimes a lot of the things that you are saying is coming off as a little disrespectful. Just for instance, I brought up the fact of Trump screwing up COVID, which to me, I think was more than obvious. We saw it coming through from country to country, and people dying and this, that, and the other. And he clearly went on national television and said it was a Democratic hoax. We refused to shut down the airports and things of that nature. But regardless, we ain't got to get into all that. When I
I want to speak about it. I want to speak on it.
Okay, well, when I said that to you, your response was, oh, well, it just seems to me you all just want some handouts. You just want some Democratic handouts. It's that undertone. Yeah, but that's how you responded. You didn't respond to what I actually said as far as Trump saying that it was a Democratic hoax, which he did say that. And he refused to shut down the airports and the borders because he did not want it to mess with the economy to damage his election. So people died because of that. And so Congress had to rush together and give out some little checks. And then he threw his name on it as if he was all for it. That's not how it went down. But that's not the point. The whole thing is it's like if somebody disagrees with the Republican Party, then it's always the throwback of, oh, y'all just want some handouts and this, that, and the other. And that is so disrespectful to say to Black Americans, especially considering the fact that you ain't even been Black that long. Because as far as I remember, when you came on here, you were speaking no English. So now you want to see
the ad hominem attacks. Let me tell you something. If you want to talk about that, I was talking about the slang. I've always been Black. My family being Afro-Latino, whatever. People would say whatever they want to say. Has nothing to do. That's ethnicity. That's not race. I've always been Black. But we're talking about 2024 going into 2025. We're not about to talk about the days when I wasn't sober and I was doing all kinds of things and I was having a psychotic break. So if you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. So since you want to bring up,
talk about it because I'm bringing it up because you don't seem like you understand Black Americans' history. You don't have respect for the struggle.
I'm in a position to speak about these things. I am speaking for Black people, and thankfully, you know what? I don't have problems like that in the political circles, because Republicans believe that you could change your life at any time and at any age and do better. And it seems to me as if my Democratic friends are put me down for a time when I wasn't even healthy, Miss Nikki. Y'all did not meet me sober on this app, did you?
Child, I mean, whether you sober or not is still up for debate.
So,
I mean, let's just be real about that.
To prove your point by attacking me as a person isn't going to work.
I'm not attacking you. You sat up here. You sat up here.
That was years ago. And what I'm talking about today, but I'm talking about
political party as if racism has a political party.
You didn't even let me address. You didn't even let me address the virus. Instead, you wanted to attack me as a person. I don't understand.
No, I was not attacking you as a person. What did I say that wasn't true? What did I say wasn't true? The only reason why I brought up the fact that
you let me respond, no.
I am going to let you respond, but I'm telling you, I'm trying to let you know it was not a personal attack. The reason why I brought it up is because maybe there's a disconnect in you understanding Black American history.
I understand Black American history,
and maybe that's why you're coming off as tone deaf.
Try to discredit what I'm saying. I live in America, and I'm trying to answer the question about the virus.
Okay, go ahead.
So, the election was coming up, and there was a lot of things about the virus that was being said that was not true. And some of us feel that some of the things that was said was to sabotage Donald Trump's chances of winning the election.
Right, but people's health was at risk. That's not appropriate. That is the problem. Why is his election chances being weighed and considered more than people's life? You know how many people died? Do you know how many?
So you want to blame a virus
pandemics? Obama stopped two pandemics. And he wasn't concerned about his re-election, the economy, and that and the other
at all. Neither president, Trump and Kamala, even though she's a hopeful, saying they don't want to do things exclusively for Black people. So I'm not going to ride this hope train with you.
And I'm not the type of person that even wants the president to do things exclusively for Black people. I'm not even that. See, that's what I'm saying. It's these.
But where's this undertone coming from, Nikki?
Undertone you have. No,
I don't have an undertone. But
I'm addressing the things that you are saying. I'm addressing the actual specifics, and then you're coming back as taking these shots of Kamala and doing stuff specific.
When did I take a shot at her? When did I take a shot at Kamala?
No, I'm saying, would you let me finish? What I'm saying is you brought up, we were talking about the Trump, how he handled the pandemic. And then you brought up Kamala. And doing stuff specifically for Black people. That's what we was talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Instead of addressing the issues, when I told you that Obama stopped 2 pandemics, your response was Kamala and doing something specifically for Black people. That's the shit that we can't rock with. A lot of us. And it's not that I have never been a Democratic. I have been a registered independent ever since I was 18 years old. And so is every other millennial that I know. I don't know any younger Black people that just really rock hard for the Democrat Party. However, if you have been paying attention to politics as long as you say you have, tell me, when was the Republican Party even addressing Black America before Obama? They didn't even address us or even talk to us. This is the reason why Black people was not voting for the Republican Party for so long, because they weren't addressing the concerns of Black Americans.
Are you going to let me speak, or are you just going to talk at me?
I'm not just talking at you. I'm answering the question. Go ahead.
I didn't ask you a question. Okay. The Republican Party has spoken for blacks since the Civil War, since they fought black code, since they fought segregation. So they have you didn't even let me finish. You didn't even listen. It has to work both ways. You don't want me to interrupt you, right? So I have to be able to respond. With the Republican Party, you're not even letting me speak, and I don't understand this.
What you're saying is incorrect.
It's not incorrect, but you're not. You gotta. We can't have a conversation just one way. You want to spew these ideas at me, and I can't respond. And those are the issues I'm having.
Okay, go ahead, child.
Listen, it's nothing to argue about. The
This
Republican Party. Can I finish? The Republican Party has definitely spoken for blacks when they fought for our rights to vote and civil rights and things like that. And you're not going to try to convince me otherwise, because that has happened. So no, it's not just during this election, it's other times as well.
And you know, just like I know full well that there was a party switch. The Republican Party of today is not the party of yesterday.
I just said that. So that's how you're not listening. I just spoke about the GOP being represented by Lincoln, and I talked about the switch with Donald Trump. So Nikki, you're just arguing with me just to argue, and I don't understand.
No, you just sat here and said that the Republican Party
is just trying to argue and discredit everything I'm saying, and I'm not about to let you do that, sis. I'm not an ignorant person. We have different views, but I started out speaking about that.
I'm addressing what you just said.
No,
you just said that the Republican Party
was no. Wait a minute. I know you're not backstage. No, you cannot come on my platform. No, I don't deal with you. Leave me alone. We're good. I thought you were banned, as a matter of fact. Listen, I don't feel that we have to. I don't feel that we have to attack each other to have a conversation. But I can't let y'all just discredit everything I'm saying just because you don't like it.
No,
you wanted to bring up when I first came on this platform and things like that, and I feel that, Nikki, you're trying to insult my intelligence.
I'm not trying to insult your intelligence. I'm trying to have a conversation with you, because I felt like you insulted my intelligence when you sit there and said that black people just looking for a handout.
I didn't. Did I point you out? Did I attack your family or did I talk about it? I never said that black people. No, find me a timestamp. I never said that blacks were just looking for a handout. That is not true. You're not about to lie on me. I didn't say that. I talked about less. I didn't say that. That's a lie. That is a lie. If I didn't say it and you're saying I said that, that means you're lying on me to make your point. So
I'm going to go back and get that time up, because you definitely said that. But
I didn't say it. Don't timestamp where I said that blacks are looking for a handout, and that's what y'all do. You guys try
that we want.
I did not say that blacks were looking for a handout, Nikki. I never said that. You're not going to find it in my stream.
Okay.
You're not going to find it. That's not true, Nikki.
So what made me start paying attention to your live was when you were talking about the women's health. I've only been here. As soon as you saw me type in, I had just got here. So please forgive me if you've addressed some things that I'm speaking about. And I'm not trying to attack you. I'm just trying to have a conversation.
I can't tell.
Okay. So down here, I am in a red state, a state that will be forever red, always. I have never voted up and down the political, any ticket one way. I have always voted for Republican and Democrats, because I am, at my fundamental base, pretty much a conservative person. I don't adhere to all of these labels and groups and this, that, and the other. I don't think racism has a party. America has an issue with racism. It don't matter which party you are in. But my issue is, do you understand that the laws that they are making as far as this abortion ban, that women are in the hospital dying or are being sent home and dying? It's affecting a lot of young black women.
Those are not the majority of the cases, and those are not the cases. I did speak about, Nikki, you may not have been here, but I said that my opinion excluded women that were in emergency situations.
Okay, great. That's awesome. And I wish more of you all would speak up about that, because it's getting to the point where we have hospitals and doctors in entire counties where women cannot get maternal services because doctors do not want to be in a situation to where they have to sit back and watch a woman die because she had complications during pregnancy and they can't do what's medically necessary to save her because a bunch of lawmakers with no medical degrees feel like they can tell doctors what they can and couldn't do because they want to have the rights of women's bodies. Like that is an issue.
Nikki, I'm waiting for someone to show me something where a state is prohibited from treating a woman with medical emergencies.
Which email would you like me to send it to? Because these are real
right
things that's
happening. I'll put in the chat. I would love to see this where a state is prohibited from treating a woman that's in dire emergency.
And we also are no longer teaching Black history because of these Republican Trump laws, because they don't feel like that's necessary.
That's not true. That's another thing that you can source up on because that's just not true.
What? So you're going to tell me about the state I live in.
Party and not say that the Democratic Party does not have a hand in that as well. What's wrong with you? They do. The
Democratic Party has a hand in taking Black history out the schools.
You're not going to. What you want to do is paint a one-sided argument. No, I'm not going there. Again, show a source. Because you're not going to exclude, you're not going to pretend. I'm telling you guys there's problem on both sides. What you want to do is just talk about the Republican Party. And what I'm telling you is that both sides, there's problems. Did y'all not in the chat hear me talk about DeSantis and the Black? See, that's how I know you're just here to argue, Nikki, because I specifically spoke about that. And I even spoke about the Republican in Florida who I disagreed with. So you're just here to argue. I can't help you.
No, it's not about help. If you just can't handle the conversation, just so you can handle the conversation.
You're not looking at both sides, Nikki.
I am looking at both sides. Are you even looking at the things that you are talking about? Because how are you? It's in national news that there are several states that are banning Black history in schools.
But you're not going to say that that's not happening. I'm sorry, sis. I'm not saying that's not happening, but you're not going to put it on one side.
There are doctors. Yeah. No, I'm not saying that. Of course it is. It's problems. It's definitely problems.
But you want to demonize the Republican Party to benefit your argument.
You want to make the Republican Party seem like it's not the demon that it is.
Give me a second, Nikki. Because I say the Democratic Party. Okay, we're not going to agree on that. Is that you? Backstage?
All I'm saying is please don't take political views from a fucking crackhead, okay? Please.
Oh my God.
And that's the problem with people. And let me tell you something. If y'all think that's gonna hurt my feelings, nope. Because I'm living well. But when it comes to, he just proved my. Oops. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to move my banner. Hold on. Let me respond. That proves my point. I can't look at y'all messages right now. Y'all see me getting beat up in my own space. That proves my point. People want to try to discredit me, try to talk about my past. I don't care what people say about my past. I'm living well. I travel. I pay for myself. Those things don't bother me. But when people can't debate you at an intelligent level, they want to use ad hominem attacks, and they always come from the Democratic Party. I never get that in my political spaces. I never get that. Y'all don't know the other spaces I go to debate. It's respectable, and you get some ignorant person that comes up here. Let me say something. We look bad as a race, as Black people attacking another Black person, because you know how many people got substance abuse problems and stuff like that. White people support each other. We can't even agree on that. So if you think that you're going to come to my space, I just banned you. Because you sound ignorant. But that lets me know all that does is strengthens my stance, because I'm speaking facts, and you want to try to talk about, Nikki brought up my past as well, talking about, when I came out here, I was talking about my race and stuff like that. That has nothing to do with the policies I'm speaking about today.
It does. But when you talk about the thought process of Black history, you have a lot of issues with self-hate.
You have a lot of issues with self-hate. I don't know, is it because you like to suck white daddy's dick or something? But you are delusional.
I just don't understand why you won't let me speak. I don't understand. But something is wrong with you, and you think you should be checked. You think you should be checked when you take slick ass dick and you have this self-hate.
when you want to debate something, all I'm saying is instead of attacking the person,
thought process,
all you gotta do,
towards black people,
why do you want?
You think some? You
I'm
got
not
like
attacking her own race. That's what I don't know why
you got like fucked up. You got like fucked up, MU. You really do. And I don't look down on you, because if I did, I wouldn't be here. So I wasn't bringing up, I was not bringing up your history to try to talk crazy to you. That was not it. I was telling you that maybe there is a disconnect between you, black culture, and our history. And maybe how you came on here and how you introduced us, maybe you aren't the person to be talking about Black America as a whole. Because if you don't participate in Black society, and if that's not your culture,
no, I don't participate in Black society.
Putting labels on us.
You can't. No, I don't understand what you're trying to do right now. But let me get back to my talking points, you guys. I'm not here to talk about my life, my past. But like, I'm not here to do that. Nikki, have a nice day.
Okay.
Listen, you guys, I don't need to debate whether I'm Black or not, or I participate in Black society. But Nikki only proved my point. People want to attack me. If I was a Democrat, we'd be having the smoothest conversation, but I'm not. But the same way I'm not going to attack y'all personally, I'm not going to call y'all out. People that are crackheads themselves want to talk about me and my substance abuse problems, or when I came on this platform, I'm talking about the election today, and MU's life does not affect the election. And I feel that right now, the two people that came up, and I like Nikki, I don't understand her stance with me right now. I don't understand it, but I do know that these conversations get heated. But I'm going to get attacked no matter what I say. I am just like anybody else can speak about politics. How dare somebody come over here and tell me that I cannot speak about politics? Because they say so, I'm not going. I'm sorry. And if you guys don't like that, I don't know what to tell you. Because we're also going to talk again about some other stuff. I should have wrote this stuff down. We got the voting things. 2 people asked me for sources. I don't understand it, but I really didn't appreciate it. But thank y'all for proving my point. That's all you did. Hey. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe you're trying to be backstage. Hold on. Maybe you're trying to stay backstage. Oh, you were just giving me a source. Okay. Were you trying to stay up, or were you trying to come down? I can't hit the link in. Oh, okay. Let me put you back. I got it. I see it. Let me take a picture of what you were. Okay, she's trying to type backstage. I got it. Hey. Is that you? Can you unmute your microphone? I can't unmute it so I can look at the source. Okay, you can speak. I got you. I got my battery up.
Yeah, it's Noble. Hey, what's up? What's going on?
Ahead, Noble. Let me look at this link that's put in my chat. Go ahead, Noble. So let me say this before. Hold on. Let me move my battery. Let me say this, you guys. A lot of the things that I was asked by Nikki and other people, I did address. I talked about it. DeSantis. I spoke about what I'm talking about. I was talking about the stereotypes of a Black Republican, number one. And you can see it. It's like, I didn't attack you guys. And I definitely did not say that Blacks are looking for a handout. That's not true. I never said that. You're not going to find it in my stream. Okay? I don't understand these personal attacks. And that just shows me that people are so not willing to have an open mind and a conversation, which is why I stay in my little small corner of the world. Go ahead, Noble. Hey, Godmama. I don't have a problem with you. But Nikki, you were bringing up stuff that didn't even have anything to do with what I was talking about, sis. I don't have a problem with you either, but to say that I'm not Black and I shouldn't have these conversations, are you okay? Go ahead, Noble. Noble. What's up, Beef Sector Podcast? Pizarro is once again trolling my chat. I stand by what I say. We need people. We have Blacks in the democratic process. It is problematic to not have Blacks in the Democratic Party. It's problematic not to have Blacks also in the Republican Party. We need to be in all offices. Okay? And if we don't participate in the process, then we have nothing to complain about. So I'm talking about people that's actually active, that votes, that's like, I want to do my part. I don't understand. That's my biggest thing. We need Black Republicans. We have Democratic Republicans, but Congress is made up of both, and we need more of us. I tried to explain it, and I did say you weren't Black. I said you don't understand Black American history and shouldn't be speaking on it. But Nikki, how can you say that I don't understand Black American history when I'm the only one that's been putting up dates? I'm the only one talking about civil rights. I'm the only one talking about literacy tests and poll tax. So I do understand history because I spoke about history, Nikki. But thank you for explaining what you meant. I appreciate that. But I'm not attacking you. I like you. But it is a serious conversation that I take very seriously. Go ahead, Noble. I was just waiting on you. Oh, okay,
But yeah,
Ronnie.
my phone about to.
Oh, go ahead. I'm going on mute.
But
Go
what
ahead.
what I wanted to say is when it comes to Democrats and Republicans, don't nobody do their history on it. We look at the Al Sharptons and the Jesse Jacksons and the Barack Obamas and the Bill Clintons that's been pushing the Democratic Party. But if you go back after the Civil War and before Reconstruction, the Democratic Party was the one that was against eradicating slavery. You know what I'm saying? They was the ones that was trying to keep us enslaved. They was the ones that pushed the KKK. So when people start talking about the Democratic Party and don't know what the hell they talking about, but y'all up here supporting because they throw a blackface up there, you know what I'm saying? Y'all just don't know what the history of the Democratic Party was about. The Republican Party was based upon a premise of what the Constitution was supposed to be based upon, the principles of people on this inside this republic. And when the Europeans came over here, when they came over here, it was people already over here. They already had a constitution. They already had a governmental structure. And so what came out of that was the Republican Party. When they came with all these laws that was gifted to man, and that every man should have a voice and every man should be able to bear arms in case their government became tyrannical. That was the laws that was already on this land. It had nothing to do with separation of race or land or state or government or church or none of that shit. Everything was supposed to be inclusive because the people that came over here didn't know anything about government besides a rulership. Besides King George and the Queen of England, off go your head. Over here they had some sort of freedom. See, before especially black people start trying to throw these type of labels on us, we have to start doing our history. The only government that we had was a matriarchal government system, a system that came from mother to son to father to daughter to mother, until a certain type of xenotype came into the picture and started taking over the government.
Okay, I think your sound just went out. Nikki, is that you?
It
Wait,
is.
I don't. Oh, it is. Okay. Now, Ronnie Q, let me just say this and I'll tag you in. Noble, your sound went out unless I couldn't hear it. Oh, there you go.
How can you say anything about politics and you don't vote? You're not even inside the political system. So how can you're not even involved inside the political system? At least she is involved in the political system. So what do you have to say about it? And this is what I
Who's he
say
talking
about
to?
dumbass niggas.
Who are you speaking to? Surely not me, who actually write legislation.
I think he was talking to somebody in the chat, Nikki, not you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't want to put a name on it for him, but wait, Noble's back? Go ahead, you guys. Y'all got it. Now, Ronnie Q, I did read. I'm gonna read more of the article and I'll respond later. But I did get that source, and I want to go through it thoroughly. So thank you for the source. I appreciate that. Go ahead, Nikki.
I just want to know why you didn't check him on the when he was talking about the Republican Party from years past and remind him that it switched. And
Because
then when
he
you want
wouldn't
to talk,
stop talking, and I didn't get a chance to yet. I was going to
okay,
go through.
well, no,
No, no, no.
no,
I don't believe in
no,
interrupting people,
no.
Nikki. Nikki, I like people to get it out because I like people to get it out because he could have explained it himself, but he didn't finish talking. That was it.
I
Oh,
think
okay.
that a
Well,
lot of us. Hold on, wait a minute. But I'm gonna let you speak. Just give me 30 seconds because I got a little delay. You know what I'm saying? So I think that a lot of us deal with politics in a religion and things like that in an emotional space. We don't deal with it like, let me do my own research. Let me figure this out for myself. And if I do have an alternative viewpoint that comes to me, let me at least listen and see where they coming from. It's all about attack because I don't want to vote for Kamala Harris or because I don't want to be a Democrat. But there's so many other different candidates on the ticket. Ain't nobody talked about Cornel West. Ain't nobody talked about all these other people that's on the presidential ticket, but it's just these two that everybody talking about. So where's your political logic at now? You know what I'm saying? You could just talk about Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. We could just talk about and hold on, wait a minute. We could just talk about Democrat and Republican, but where is the needs of the people met in any of these political parties? The only needs is we having an argument about something that's not going to be solved because we got two political parties that's just about, according to what y'all saying, ain't got nothing to do with the people. Okay, so let's form our own political party. If you're dissatisfied with the Republican Party or you're dissatisfied with the Democratic Party, let's start our own political party based upon the things that we want done with everything, all the Republicans that was dissatisfied with the Republican Party and everybody that was dissatisfied with the Democratic Party. Let's come together and bring our own policies to the motherfucking table and start our own political campaign. What's up? Because we ain't got time to argue about this shit no more. Y'all still arguing about shit that we should be talking about 20 years ago.
This is what I'm going to do. So some of you missed when I talked about the GOP of Lincoln and how I could go more into detail later about when it switched to Donald Trump and the differences and the problems that arose from that. But when it comes to the traditional values and things like that, those are the things I'm speaking about that directly impacts our life. So I do notice that there is a difference. There's no way to get around that. And with Ronnie Q, I do need to look through that article, and then I need to look for another article because some of the things, you guys, I'm gonna say this real quick. When we believe something, you gotta find things to try to disprove what you're saying, not things to prove what you're saying. So I'm gonna look at Ronnie Q's article, and I'm gonna look at several other articles about this ban on abortion and stuff like that. Okay. At the end of the day, I feel that we're fighting for the same things for our families. We're just on two different sides of the coin. But I'm definitely for Blacks. But I'm also for the American people. I want to see us as a whole, as a nation, improve. And I cannot neglect I cannot neglect Black people. With that being said, to protect the rights of Blacks, you have to have Blacks within the Republican Party that can speak up for Black rights. The biggest things with the Democratic Party and the Republican Party is the amount of government involvement in a person's life. I'm for less amount, okay? Noble, I hear what you're saying. I'm gonna go through that.
Right.
Here's another independent party, but we're talking about the two majorities, though. That's my thought. Talking about the majority.
I just want to say this. And it's not no shout out to
No,
the
Terry, I'm not mad at
LBGQ
you. I
community
saw you.
or nobody else, but I think that us as Black people or African American people or melanated people on this landmass that we call America has been fighting for rights for over.
Your sound keeps coming up.
than us. It's a travesty. And I think that's because we don't have our own political party. The civil rights movement was based upon
No, but
from the Jim Crow era. But they're taking.
Your audio is not good. Your audio is not good. I'm gonna say this, you guys. There's a lot. I don't know what Noble's trying to say. There's a lot, you guys. I'm gonna go pick up my son. Nikki, thank you for coming up.
But
Ronnie,
we up here gotta vote for a Democratic Party that don't have them same ideas for who built the fucking Democratic Party, and that's African Americans. So I can't even understand why African Americans are still voting.
okay, Noble is so passionate. Noble, I gotta go. Noble, I gotta go. I'm gonna go pick up my son. You guys, I will look at this stuff. Noble, thank you for coming up. Nikki, thank you for
Especially
coming
these
up.
Democratic political people. Explain to me
Noble, I gotta go.
what the hell have the party have done for.
I'm sorry. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. Your sound's going in and out, Noble. I gotta go, you guys. Thank y'all for the conversation. We're close to this election. I want what's best for us, okay? I'm not against anybody. And I can learn some things. Ronnie Q said, tell Noble to put what he thinks in Wayne. I'm gonna look at these comments later, y'all. I'll be back. I need to look at these articles, look at some of the things Nikki was saying, and who else put something? Tisa. And I'll be back later, but I appreciate the conversation. And if you guys invite me to your space, I'll come, willing to listen, because I just want to change. And I want to change for the better for all of us. I love you guys. Thank you guys. I'm out of here. Bye, y'all.